August that year. So Bank of America had no immediate comment, of course, and Bank of New York, which declined to comment, is accused of processing $378 million in payments to Epstein's sex trafficking victims. Wow. All right. So with Epstein's death, let's look at this. There was some stuff in here. So that's relevant. With Epstein's death in 2019, Epstein's associate Ghislaine Maxwell serving a 20-year prison sentence. Banks have become a target of Epstein accusers and victims. The late sex offenders trafficking operation required extensive financial planning. So who's organizing this? How about the financial planners? Should we be going after them too? To fund its size and disguise its transactions as legitimate. So that was obviously intent to, money launder and so anyway, the latest accusers are likely empowered by settlements J.P. Morgan and Deutsche Bank reached in 2023 with other alleged victims. J.P. Morgan settled for $290 million, and the latter settled for $75 million over allegations they facilitated Epstein's sex trafficking ring. Neither bank admitted to wrongdoing. No, we just doing our job. Somebody comes in, opens an account, we just let it go through. We don't know what's going on. Yeah. The lawsuits come after about a month of House Judiciary Committee Republicans blocked an effort from Democrats to subpoena J.P. Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon, Bank of America CEO Brian Moynihan, Deutsche Bank CEO Christian Sewing, and Bank of New York Mellon CEO Robin Vince as part of an investigation into reports that claimed the four banks flagged $1.5 billion. They flagged it in suspicious transactions linked to Epstein, but they did nothing about it. So Dimon attended a lunch with Senate Republicans before the vote, according to Politico, telling reporters, "We regret any association with that man at all. And of course, if it's a legal requirement, we would conform to it and have no issue with that." So now I believe that Jamie Dimon is giving up information to the Republicans. Now, why not the Democrats? Because the Democrats are evil, guys. They would probably run and tell all the people that had been disclosed in those investigations. See how this works? That's why they stopped. They wouldn't release the Epstein information. And everybody thought, oh, look, they're all criminals. No, because the Democrats will use that to basically inform the people that need to get out of country. And we've seen a lot of celebrities leaving the country, haven't we? They will be hunted down. They will be hunted down. All right. So while I'm in this, let me go into yeah. So this is Sarge. I think this is perfect to bring this in right now because this is dark web. So we know, like I said, there's 90% of basically the internet is dark web. So we only get the 10%. So 90% is dark web, right? All kinds of bad things go on there. So I'm going to play a little bit of this video and then I'll probably give a little commentary here and there.
Let's talk about the dark web. How do you get on it? Where is it?
Okay, so the dark web itself isn't a marketplace. Once you're connected to the dark web, Tor, the onion router, what I was explaining before, you still need to know where to go to visit these horrible websites. They're
So obviously this is Sean Ryan. It's a show that he did, had this expert come in and talk about all of the dark web. It's a pretty fascinating show. Highly recommend it. So the dark web is out there. This is the way they do the money laundering. This is the way the Democrats money launder. This is the way the cartels money launder. They're all interwoven, guys. All right. So you're going to get a little education.
Imagine a very long string of letters and numbers, and the website, instead of .com, it'd be .onion. You can't visit those websites in a regular browser. You have to do that while you're connected to the Onion router, which you can download at the TOR's website. And then you could go to a thing called like the Hidden Wiki, and the Hidden Wiki will show you all different categories of these websites with a link to them. And there's marketplaces, there's horrible things on there, like you said, for kids, and even like murder for hire. There's
So was this where that little girl and other unfortunate young teenagers, they were on this dark web and they communicated with this beast on the web that convinced them to murder themselves, suicide themselves, right? So there's a lot of that going on. And that's just one example. So here's more.
There's counterfeit money, there's fake IDs, there are all kinds of different websites that do horrible things.
Now, today's program is going to be, the first part is going to be about the dark net, because I just got this information in an email from one of my vet friends. There's two of them, but one of them is the one that converses with me to share information that they're finding on the dark net, and it's a group that goes by Quan. Yes, I'm saying it. I don't know how they pronounce it, but it's like the letter, the number 1, ONE, but it's spelled with a QNE. Is that obvious or not? No one knows who they are, really, but they leave their digital signature for anons to know that it was them when something happens on the dark net.
Now, on like the Q post I started seeing, and the anons, I started to see on those posts. I wasn't a big follower of them, but occasionally I would go in. I could see, from the information that was being shared, that they had been infiltrated, and they were spreading disinformation within those webs, within those groups, and then some of that was coming out. So was that CIA? Was that part of a cover up? Was it part of bad actors like we're talking about right here? Were they coming in and spreading disinformation and so forth, and then anons were picking that up and running with it and spreading it as if it was true? Yes. Right. Yes. On a lot of these cases, guys.
Now, the QNE, I'm just going to say, because I don't want to pronounce it and mess up a word. Y'all know I'm famous for messing up a word. And this sounds like one word that I will keep messing up, because it sounds like one, but it's spelled with a Q, Quan, whatever. The anons say that they have no idea how the QNE works, but they have left their calling cards on 5 of the biggest dark websites, with 3 of them actually connected to some of the top banks in the world. And that's very interesting.
All right. So within always, because we're seeing it, we have the lamestream media, which is spreading disinformation. And then you have people like myself, Nino, McKay, all of us are basically spreading, truth as best as we can, fast as we can. But you have the disinformation that people still cling to, not as much, but they still cling to that false information. So with us sharing this information, sometimes the dark side, the lamestream media, will pick some of this stuff up and disinfo it and criticize it and try and knock it down. They've done that several times to all of us, right? High up in media too, guys, very, very high up. So this is something that we have to be aware of, but also, like Sarge is talking about, they're bringing in good information as well, in seeding and good information. So you have to have discernment. And that's, I think we're getting some really good information that's being dropped into the Anons right now.
Interesting. And the top dog of these sites was a name called DarkFi, which is the dark web's version of BlackRock, I'm being told. I'm just a messenger, guys, so I don't know anything. So I'm just telling you what my boys tell me. These idiots picked a usable name that doesn't sound threatening, but it was an open source blockchain ecosystem built especially for anonymous engineering, whatever that means. But it provides back channels for asset swaps, drug deals, transfers, and decentralized autonomous organizations. It dealt exclusively in crypto, mostly Bitcoin and others that I will get into. And they said this year alone, in 2025, since January 2025, a total of $1.1 trillion of Bitcoin has been seized. And that is amazing because at any given moment, the value of all Bitcoins hovers around $2 to $3 trillion, according to the market.
So you have to look at this, the 1.2 trillion, whatever, Bitcoin that has been seized by the good guys from the bad guys. So they couldn't use that money to fund their operations and pay people off and buy drugs and sell those drugs and buy children and sell those children and adrenochrome those children, all the stuff that they do, right? So by taking that, by coming in, these super smart, super sharp with high quantum, they have quantum computers, because at some point we'll have a quantum financial system, but the old system has to be destroyed, right? Because we see the old system with these banks, these corrupt banks that we all, bank at, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, I don't know about Wells Fargo, but Jamie Dimon's bank, all these different banks, JP Morgan Chase, all these different banks, guys, maybe even Wells Fargo, I don't know. But I haven't heard that. But so I don't want to put anything out and get myself in trouble. But those other banks have been exposed, and so there is definitely corruption within the banking system. We know that, all right? The Federal Reserve is completely corrupt, right? Shouldn't even be there. Got there through the Democrats, all right? And we'll see that banking institution eventually be taken off stage completely, and all of its manipulations gone. What does that look like in the future with the quantum system? We're all going to learn about it, right? So I don't know, but they have quantum computers that come in and process information at rates that we can't comprehend, right? And because they're quantum, they have intelligent design to a certain extent as well.
Say another whistleblower says that the only way the QNE could hack and confiscate these Bitcoins is with the superior computer system that has quantum capabilities. I tried to tell you guys, we have quantum freaking computers. Blockchain is the highest form of secure crypto that we know of. So whoever QNE is, they are very powerful. So I'm seeing a pattern. And from this point, I will give you my assessment. And I think this all points to the military alliance cleaning up the negative systems of the world.
Boom. Good job, Sarge. So as you guys can see, it's about an hour long. Icon 2020. He sneaks some really good stuff out there. And I occasionally I catch his stuff. I like to watch him all the time. I don't have time to do it all, But somebody sent that to me, and I was like, oh, Sarge has got something. Because when people send me something that Sarge has done, it means it's good, right? Good enough to share around. So really good information that comes from Sarge. And then we have to look at, like I said, the Earth is going through changes. The sun is definitely going into, a period where it's helping to awaken our consciousness. But with that increased activity, the Earth changes, right? Poles shift around, climates move around, and like you saw on my deck, it was like there's still a bit of snow back there, but it's going to warm up and melt it off. But we already got a little taste, and it's very unusual to get that much snow this early on here in Lake Tahoe. So we get snow. We get snow a little bit, but I think we're going to get a very, very, very lot of snow, right? And that's probably going to translate into a lot of other places. We're going to get a lot of snow as well. I've seen some states where the highway system completely just shuts down when you get a lot of snow. So it's not going to be pretty. And that's a major highway systems. I went through, I think it was going up to Idaho, and I was trying to get up there, and like some of the highways down like snowstorm, and the highways were frozen, and there's like no plows out. Like, well, get some plows out here, and this is a major friggin' highway. Let's go. Right. So yeah, some and I looked up the I'm not going to name the name, but I looked up the governor, and it was a Republican. I was like, what the hell's wrong with you? Right? You're not performing as a Republican would. So I know maybe he took over from some Democrats or something. And he didn't have it all lined up. But yeah, there's some states that just completely shut down, guys. Right? You're on your own. And I was like I was trying to do back roads and go around, and had to go back and go down into Colorado and go around and come back up. It was a friggin' nightmare. So we're going to see massive storms this year. Probably, I'm not going to say probably. I know we're going to break records on a massive level. Now, I said that you really need to like get ready for this cold that's coming, the freeze, the frost, the snow. You know that more people die during the cold times than die in the summer. And they've done this climate change bullshit lie for years, trying to do this scam green energy deal, which is complete scam. And the real deaths happen in the winter. So everyone's dying because it's so hot. Yeah, there's usually a few deaths from the summer, but not like it is in the winter, right? Not like it is in the winter. Major catastrophes probably coming for some areas.
In addition to these big earthquakes and these big solar flares, we have another big coronal hole soon to rotate into geo-affected position. And so the sequence of events is going to be this 1, 2, 3 punch from these solar storms hitting Earth. And then we're immediately going to be hit by a coronal hole high-speed stream, which is going to increase the solar wind velocity, drop that solar wind density, and as a result of that, we're very likely to be back in a global earthquake watch, because that low solar wind density seems to very much be connected to high magnitude earthquakes. These two earthquakes here today, the 6.5.
All right, so Stefan Burns, keeping us informed about the sun, what's going on, and he makes really good predictions about earthquakes coming, and that's pretty much it. You get I'd be crying, brother. I'd have a beanie, a fire, and 2 pairs of socks on. So we're going to see a lot of this solar activity coming in. It's been prophesied. It's part of a cycle. The earthquake activity is, for a lot of areas, is way behind what should have already happened. So you were going to see probably some pretty significant earthquakes, like I've been predicting. Now, I thought that we would see it this summer because when I visualized some of these earthquakes happening in California and tsunamis, I saw it was hot. I don't know. So maybe it's next year. I don't know. So sometimes it's like that. But, you know, I hate to put stuff out, but I get from a lot of people, I get from other psychics, keep doing what you're doing, Mike, because we see it too, right? So I'm out here in front, you know, I get impelled to put this stuff out. If it doesn't happen, that's good. And some of you will claim, you know, your prediction didn't come true. You're just a fake, you know, whatever. I'm pretty much 95% pretty spot on, but no one gets those. No one gets that, right? So, and I know stuff that's coming sometimes, and I don't put it out because I don't want people to get all excited and they'll start to pull it, right? They'll pull it in. Now, I've talked about this enough, I think, at this point that a lot of you are informed enough to know that your consciousness can push or pull, right? Whatever you focus on. So if you don't want this to happen, then you say prayers, you meditate on it not happening, because that state of mind is very powerful. The meditative alpha brainwave, theta brainwave. You know, we normally, like I'm talking to you right now, I'm pretty much in beta, you know, relaying information. But I'm pretty creative too. I've learned how to actually, you know, when I taught the hand-to-hand course for Navy SEALs, started that. I taught guys how to go into state of consciousness, and I'm in it right now. I'm always in wide angle vision, right? I see a lot of stuff, and I see a lot of stuff that most people don't see, right? Because I've pushed my consciousness into those zones. So I do deep breathing, and I, you know, constantly, you know, activate my right side of my brain, my feminine side of the brain. I know a lot of you guys are like, feminine side of your brain? What the hell are you talking about? Yes, it's the masculine, which is the analytical side, the left side, and the feminine, which is the creative, intuitive side, is the right side of your brain. So there's lots to understand about that. And then the pineal gland, which is our antenna to the source, God source, which can relay information to us. And then the heart center, basically, which activates a certain frequency, which is even more than the brain, far more than the brain. It goes out further than the brain. So that 6 foot distance that they want us to keep, that's so that we wouldn't have that connection to each other, because our frequencies travel well outside of our bodies, but that 6 foot basically keeps us apart, right? So, but don't get too close, right? Right. You ever have those people that get like right up to your face? It's like, what? Get back. What do you know? It's like, crazy. You're crazy. Get out of here. So, you know, you have to be able to go into these zones of consciousness, and especially during the time frames that we're in right now, I think it's critical. So, you know, I have courses. They're in my description box. So get yourself intuitivized, right? Or learn how to remote view or remote influence. You know, there's great courses. All right. Now, in my Telegram, and I'm gonna share that with you guys so that you guys see my Telegram site, because there's other Telegram sites out there that have, I got like 18. I used to have like 27,000, and then it just keeps going down. And I pull up my name, and I have like 10 different sites. One site that says Mike Jaco has like well over 20,000. I'm like, God, stealing my stuff. All right. So Michael K. Jaco. And if you see the 1888 subscribers, that's a good number. Then you know it's me. All right. All right. It may be a couple of you guys are going there, so maybe you'll kick it up a little bit. But for whatever reason, it's been bleeding off. I don't know why. It's crazy. And other people have experienced this too with Telegram and, of course, other channels. So breaking, FBI Director Kash Patel has revealed that nearly 5% of Chicago's 2.5 million residents, or about 110,000 people, are active gang members. And wait till I pull up the information on that. I pulled it up for Chicago. Boy, there's a lot of gangs there. I pulled it up for LA. Way a lot of gangs there. And I pulled it up for Portland. Gangs, right? Gangs are running our cities, right? So U.S. Attorney just exposed that California Democrat officials oversaw massive homelessness fund fraud. Now, you guys know I've been putting this out for a little while. There have been money laundering, the homeless to the billions and billions of dollars. You would think all of those homeless would have like a mansion. They should, but they haven't. And here's what happened. Billions of California tax dollars intended to solve homelessness. They had little to no progress. California state officials failed to provide meaningful. Democrats don't do well, guys. They don't manage well. You guys notice that yet? Right? Meaningful oversight over the individuals who receive most of these funds. The state agency paid $26 million for a fraudulent project the developer did not complete construction. And then the Attorney General goes on to say at least $2.2 million was diverted to pay the person's American Express credit card. Boy, it ran up a big bill. He stole the money.